This is a demo of our price adjuster application, which is just a utility to automate the process of mass updating your pricing data inside of Visual based off of either customer or market pricing. And really show why it's necessary for some customers. We'll start off by how you'd have to be maintaining this traditionally. What you typically have to do in a standard Visual installation is go to part maintenance and find the part you want to change the pricing for, and go to maintain customer pricing. If I want to change some pricing for a specific customer, I can see there are specific parts, or there's a default unit price for this one, but there may have been various breakpoints. And maybe you also had unit prices by market, where you've got different prices based off of which market you're selling into. So for some customers that probably works just fine, where you don't have a lot of parts or the pricing isn't particularly correlated with each other. But suppose you had thousands of parts in your database, and maybe because of some sort of commodity price or some sort of other effect, you want to roll out a 10% price increase to all your customer prices. It would be an awful lot of work. You'd have to load up each part and then go into the customer pricing. For example, you may have dozens and dozens of customers in here, and you'd have to manually adjust the prices for each of them. Same thing with market pricing. So that's what our utility is written to assist with. We have a separate program, and it can be run within your Visual menu structure if you like, or it can just be run from your Start menu. I've got on my Start menu here under the Infor Global Solutions group, Visual Enterprise, Price Adjuster. When the screen comes up, this is how you'll see it. We have two tabs, one for customer pricing and one for market pricing. And the idea here is the top portion, you are basically selecting how to filter to find the parts that you want to update. And a lot like the standard Visual searches, you start off with telling it with your search criteria, are you doing an AND search or an OR search? And you have the option of doing either here. So if you were to do an AND search, all your filters would have to be in conjunction with each other. If you're doing an OR search, it would be any of these filters independently would select your part correctly. So I'm just going to leave them alone for the time being here with my filters, but if you did see you want to check them, these have drop downs where you can actually see all the different data. So if I'm going by customer, maybe by part, and you can, this works like a range, so you can select a from part and to part. And then also we've got product code here. The next thing we have is what the price change is. And our price changes can either increase or decrease, and we support by a %, kind of on this first wave. And when I say first wave, that'll make sense in a moment here, but let's say for the time being, let's just do 10%. And then we also have a rounding here. If 10% would push the price out to 5 decimal places, maybe you don't want to do that. So this controls what your rounding is for the adjustments that are occurring. What you do next is you hit the preview button, and this is going to come up, and we haven't committed anything just yet. This is purely just kind of a trial run here, so you can actually see what's going to happen. So it's breaking it down first by customer, and you notice these are checkboxes here. So even if you had no filters in here, you can still come in and uncheck customers that maybe you didn't want to be part of this update routine. Next, it breaks it down by product code, and then the parts. So earlier we were looking at this 1/4" plate, and all we had for it was a default unit price of 105. Our new unit price is going to be 116. This data in here is actually editable, so that's why I was saying that if you would increase, you may tell it I want a 10% increase, but as you're going through and reviewing the data, you may still need to make some corrections in here. So you do have the opportunity to make those changes if you want to. And when you're happy with the data, all you got to do is hit Submit Changes, and it gives you one more chance to make sure. It tells you you're about to update 68 prices. Do you wish to continue? The 68 prices comes from For each one of these parts that we click on, it's the total number of prices that are actually being updated. So for this one part I was looking at here earlier, I actually had maybe 10 different prices just for this one part. So that's where that number is coming from. And if you hit yes to continue, it'll tell you the database has been updated with new prices. So now if I was going to my maintain customer pricing, it's instantly updated that new price for me. We have the same support for market pricing, which is a separate tab here. The filter, as opposed to customer ID, it's based off of market ID. Everything else is pretty similar. So I can do the same thing here. I don't have quite as many markets defined in my database here, but I can see I had both retail and wholesale. And for my one part, it's just going through and pushing out that 10% price increase. So that's our price adjuster in a nutshell. It's a fairly simple program, but certainly one of those things that as we continue to add more and more features to it, or even as it is right now, it saves a heck of a lot of time if you're doing a large number of prices that need to be updated at once.